Morning glory, America. Bonjour, hi, Canada. Hugh Hewitt up in Studio North, which allows me to go down to New Hampshire and attend town halls as I did yesterday when Ambassador and former South Carolina Governor Nikki Haley held forth in a meeting with about, 150 people. Morgan Ortagus was asking questions for half an hour. All the national news media was there. And the governor joins me now. Good morning. What do you prefer, Madam Ambassador, ambassador or governor?
It's Nikki. Those are moments in time.
Okay. Well, Ambassador, I'm going to stick with that because I'm a formal guy. First of all, that was a tour de force, and I'm in Switzerland. I'm not endorsing, but I wish everyone had your background when it came to national security issues. Ought we to have more forums like that where the focus is on America's national security?
I mean, the next president has to not just know about foreign policy. They have to be willing to start day one dealing with our national security and the foreign policy situation. We're going to have issues around the world for at least the next 2 decades, and we've got to start acting like it. We've got to start thinking like it. So this can't be someone that's weak in the knees. It can't be someone who's not sure about what's going on or needs to be schooled up in it. It needs to be someone who knows their stuff.
2 years sitting in the UN General Assembly will teach you about the world. I want to get to your conversation with the Chinese ambassador to the UN about the Uyghurs, but first I want to ask you about your husband because I did not know he had just deployed again. And I don't think there are many Americans in a position to talk about what it's like to be a military spouse, a military child, or a military parent when your loved one goes off for a year.
Well, I am one of many military spouses who start the year-long prayer when our spouses deploy to serve our country. And, last week I dropped my husband Michael off at 4 a.m. with 230 other soldiers. And I'm telling you, everybody should see a group of soldiers like that picking up their 2 duffel bags to load a bus to go to a country they've never been before, all in the name of protecting this amazing experiment that is America. And the idea that they're willing to risk their lives, risk their families, everything else, because they believe in our freedoms and love our country so much. It's a lesson for every American that all of this drama and chaos that's going in our country, what really matters at the end of the day is that we're free. And what really matters is that we remember that freedom has a price. And we've got to do for them as much in this country what they're doing for us around the world.
Now, Ambassador Haley, Vice President Pence has a couple of kids in the military. You've got a husband in the military. Ron DeSantis served in the military. But I don't think people know, or I have not heard any candidate talk about the transition the way that you did. And I sat next to Phil Taub yesterday, wonderful guy, met for the first time, who works on preventing suicide among veterans of the long war. And I really applaud the guy. He's a merger and acquisition lawyer. He doesn't have to do any of this stuff. And he spends all of his time doing that. Just tell people what you said about the transition period, because I think that's so crucial for people to understand.
Well, and God bless him for what he's doing. Hugh, 1 in 3 veterans suffer from PTSD or thoughts of suicide. We lose 17 heroes a day to suicide. 33,000 of our heroes in this country are homeless, and that's shameful. The thing is, a lot of Americans see when, these men and women come back home and they're hugging their families and everybody's excited, but what they don't realize is what happens when they go home. There is a long transition. Many are unable to hear loud noises. Many can't be in large crowds. Some really struggle with the fact that the world moved on without them and they have to go and fit back in. It is a difficult transition that lasts quite a while. And that's why it's so important that what we have to do as Veteran Affairs isn't just about making sure they come home safe. It's making sure they stay safe as they transition and get healthy again. There is a process of getting healthy, and we can't ever stop thinking about that.
My jaw dropped when you told me about the VA policy about appointments, Governor, Ambassador. Would you tell people about that? Because it really is, it's shameful for our country to have spent $7 trillion and treat our veterans this way.
I will make sure that our veterans get treated the way they deserve to get treated. Right now, if a veteran needs a doctor's appointment, just a general doctor's appointment, they have to wait 29 days to get an appointment. Why 29? Because when it hits 30, they can go to any doctor of their choice. So what happens is usually midway up until the 29 days, they get a phone call to reschedule so that it starts all over again. That's how the VA hits their numbers. That's the quotas that they try and work on. And so when you think about that, think about all of those that are just sitting there waiting, many in crisis situations. We need to have where every veteran can go to any doctor, get the care that they need. We need to have more telemedicine so we can deal with these mental health issues that are rampant with our veterans. And more than that, Hugh, I will make sure that if we want to know about the VA and we want to fix the VA, the only way to do that is to make sure every member of Congress has to get their health care from the VA. That's what I'm going to push, because then you'll see our veterans suddenly get taken care of for the first time.
Now, Ambassador, your husband went away for a year. The Army does longer deployments. My son-in-law, and nephew are in the Navy. They do 6-month deployments unless they get extended. The Marines do about 9 months. A year. When you started your presidential campaign, did you know Michael was going to go away for a year, or was that a after-the-fact development?
No, not at all. Not at all. The last time he deployed to Afghanistan, and I was governor. And as I always say, he left me as a single mom governor at that time, and I was the only governor in history to ever have a spouse deployed. Now we found out, but look, how proud are we as a country that we have men and women that will do this. I'm so proud of them. And, when they go for a year, it's like losing your right arm. It's we're such partners in life. But what I also know is that, he's doing what no other country can say that we've got these men and women that will go out and do this. And so we're so proud of him. And, it is the life of a military spouse. And, it's in his blood to serve this country. And God bless him for it.